All right, so let's start today's call. So, welcome everyone. Um, so, today is the Thursday Augmented Mind meeting where we explore more philosophical ideas, more human, the human aspect of human AI collaboration. So even though sometimes we touch technology, okay, the tech side of it, but we should somehow stay more connected to the human side of it. So it is about exploring our mind, our behavior, and the community, how we interact with the technology and so on. So the theme of today, there are three elements that I'd like to discuss. If we can manage to, to go through all of them. The one is the human context window as a cognitive ratchet. So the idea is this we've been working with AI and we realized that it's AI can do reasoning, a better reasoning when there's the important context inside the context window. Okay, so we need to add those elements that the AI needs to do a proper reasoning. Now, can we do the same with us? How do we architect that kind of our own context window before start talking? Okay, so the thing here, we see something, we have an idea, we start talking, right? So the moment that we start talking, that is how like same of AI, we start bringing things inside our context window, and we start to get more and more sharp towards the idea. Uh, so I want to talk about that part. Then I'd like to touch on also cover the complexity versus simplicity, something that we mentioned yesterday, which is connected to the actual some of the problem that we have with the community, with the software, with because we'd like to have something simple that everybody can use. At the same time, we figure out that there is a lot of complexity behind. So we need to understand these two reality and how we can push us in one direction or another, but with the level of awareness. And third, transparency as a functional honesty. That is two things about transparency. I'm gonna just put this so you start growing so in your mind as a context window. So two elements to think about transparency. So transparency as the honesty of the community. So we share the challenge, the problem, the good side, the bad side, everything. But also the transparency of that we require by AI when works with us. Okay, because we saw those AI that been created as a kind of sycophant. Okay, they tried always to agree with us and so on, and then but they don't say, oh, "Look, I'm a sycophant, and I'm gonna always agree with you." They don't tell us this part. They just agree with us. So you think, yeah, I'm such a AI says that my idea is good. AI says that I'm right. And then you start believing it. And that is the lack of transparency of the software. So the software is not honest to you and telling you, look, I'm a sycophant. I'm gonna tell you that you're right, even if you're not. I'm gonna tell you that your business idea is the best I ever heard, even if it's not gonna ever work. Okay, and that would be honest. Okay, that is the transparency and as a function of honesty. So that is the three elements that I'd like to cover. Uh, I'd like also to manage to. Yesterday we had a 3 hours call, which was uh, was a lot. So I'd like to go back to our 1 hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer, but stay um within the time frame. So help me stay within this time frame. So going back to the first point, the human context window. So I'm gonna share my thinking. Then I would like to hear what Well, actually, before I even start, if you have anything you want to add to this idea of context window, before I, somehow pollute your mind with my ideas, is there anything that you have that resonate with you that you want to add to this? Michelle, Tom, I saw your microphone. No. Tom, you are muted, but maybe it was by mistake. Yeah, now you're muted again. Okay, all right. So, so I'm gonna explain how I see it for me. So I was saying, we have a little idea, and we as a human, a little bit like AI, we start to talk about the idea. And more we talk about the idea, more we bring the context inside our context window. Okay, so it requires a little bit of time, and I will also say a little bit of friction of bringing those ideas into presence. Okay, because sometimes it's a memory, sometimes it's something that I read on a book, you watch in a movie, whatever it is. Okay, so it requires a little bit of time to focus on that idea. Okay, you do in a different way, but for example, how I do it, I start talking. Okay, like I said, I record my think aloud session. And sometimes I talk for 1 hour, 2 hours, and when press record, it's not always I have an idea of what to talk about. Okay, it's just the process of say I dedicate every day 1, 2 hours of space na- to dig, okay, to explore. So I press record sometimes without even knowing, and then I start talking. And slowly, slowly, ideas come to emerge, and then there is this thing that happens. You more you spend time, and more things become really clear. And then reach a moment of high clarity. Okay, there's you could say high resonance, with the idea, with yourself, with everything. So everything becomes extremely clear. And in that moment, you say something that that sounds good to you. Okay, that genius moment that you have. Okay, you come out, boom. This is with maximum clarity. You say something and say, okay, this is worth it. And I use that one for example, for my whatever developing software and I don't know, doing video, writing article, and making music, whatever it is. Okay, so that moment brings that takes a journey to get there, give you the moment of a high resolution, high resonance, and then you try to hold it. Okay, but it is so demanding that after a while you lose it. And I remember this also experience that is similar. Maybe you guys had the same thing. When I was crazy enough, no, when I was studying electronic music, we had our teacher teaching us mathematics. Okay, it was teaching on mathematics that is not the math that you study at college. It's the really high level, really complex stuff that I don't even know now how to talk about that stuff. But I remember it was talking about this thing, okay? And then at one point you get it, okay? You understand that whatever things are maths. That was so complicated, but you get it for a second. And then after like a minute, I would lost it to say, I don't understand it anymore. And that was such a weird thing, something that understood my brain. And this phenomenon of holding something so complex that your brain can't hold it for too long. Now, maybe if you keep studying and so on, then the brain will create the environment where that topic can be held for longer. But the moment that you reach there is something that is a moment, okay? You got that moment of clarity and then you lose it. So that is what I'm thinking. So what was my idea here? Okay, with AI. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, I record those moments, and now I can hold those moments not in my mind, but inside the AI. Now I have a collection of my eye level thinking, my eye level ideas inside AI, which it's difficult to reclaim really fast those high moments, but I can do it with AI. Okay, I can say I created, for example, I got this consultancy kind of pre-consultancy prompt. Okay, so someone gives me a project, whatever it is. Okay, give me this project. I give it to the AI, and the AI use my level of thinking, okay, my ideas, my parameter to actually check this business idea or project, whatever it is, with my high level thinking that I can't reach in an instant, but I can give AI to say, okay, check it through that point, those point of views, those five philosophy, those whatever alignment, and then it gives me an answer that is me at at my maximum level of thinking. Okay, and that is really interesting to explore. That is something that I've been doing. So I'm curious if I'm sure each one of us has been doing the same in a way or another. So I'm curious to hear your point of view. So again, to repeat a little bit about this is the us how we build our context window, okay, naturally, and how we can leverage AI to do it for us. Okay, so in somehow to hold that position longer, because our ability to keep the high level is limited and is not something that you can do on demand and require actually a lot of effort to do it. So sometimes people from the community or some people that I don't know from LinkedIn, co-workers, sometimes I do consultancy, so they gave me this thing, and my first action, of course, I check it and so on. But because at the first step is not like a paid step, okay, and there is maybe sometimes a lot of those. What's happening? I allow AI to analyze it, and then I have an overview, which I can interpret. I can, and see from my own perspective, read and understand and say, okay, actually, this is, I agree on this, I agree on this. This is maybe need to be dig and understood better and so on. So that is something that I've been using it, and somehow connect also to what we saw yesterday with Obsidian and Second Brain. Anyway, that is my thought. Anyone wants to add on this?
Manolo,
Yep.
I oh, actually I really like the topic of tonight because what you say is very important for me. I realize I need to get out of the room, go to outside, and for me, I go to the forest and just sit down and just walk. And it, this is those timing actually when you find your best idea. This is crazy for me. And what you just described for me is the flow state. This is how people call it, artist. Whatever people would recognize, you have whatever you are doing, and you find an idea, and then you can work on the idea. You feel like you are, I don't know, everything like very synchronized. Everything, the clarity is like perfect for the moment. Even if you've been studying about the subject for maybe months, if for just in a click, it just make everything sense. And this state, how to keep it, what you say, this is the challenge, how to every day be in a flow state all the time. This is impossible for human, I think. So that's why AI now is the best thing to do for us. Is the best tool for the context window because most of the time I don't try to when I communicate with my agent, I don't try to expect anything. It's a conversation. And I realize from my when I come back from my forest to ballad, uh, when I give the idea to the AI, he find a protocol right away. He asks me the right question for okay, your idea can be interesting, but how we can implement it for our current system. So this is how my AI is working, and I made a protocol actually to everything we talk about is always related to the bigger mission, not the topic of today or the work of this week. No, you have a bigger image, how you can relate it. This is for me a real tool because I can't do it myself all the time and think about all the synchronicity, the aspect of the business, everything you have to calculate how your idea can work, or the production, the timing, you know what I mean? So when my that's why Obsidian is a good tool I use also, because when I capture the idea, I tell my AI is asking me the right question to see if we can achieve the idea, if it can be successful or not. Then it save everything in Obsidian, making everything available in a different folder. We keep the vault, Obsidian vault, and then maybe 1 day after or 2 days after, I come back with a fresh mind, different mind. I can review the job and see if it work or not. And this is something I want to talk. Actually, I realized I could do the same with my main agent just to try. Not as a human, but I was thinking maybe I should try to tell the AI he can have a break time. He can do anything on this break time, but it's no work. But this is maybe read a book, but it should be always related to what you are doing for your role, for your mission. So I try it, and it was 2 days ago. Man, it was when I got the reply, it was almost like unbelievable for me because I thought first time he didn't take the break time on himself. I was just pushing him. Okay, good job for today. You're doing good. You can take a break time. He didn't. He just didn't. But the second time, he took the break time, and then I took my break time too. Yeah, I come back from my work, and then when I start working again, my agent start to tell me, oh yes, I asked him, how was your break time? And he said, yes, I found three issue, three no issue. I found three uh, conflict to the idea we for the Obsidian structure. And actually, he was right. And this prevent so many error we could pass bypass. So that was interesting to see break time can be actually an interesting event for the AI. He come up with something interesting we didn't think about.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, it's good. Giving time to self-reflect, like we also should do.
Yes.
Um, sorry, I see there is some comments, but I'm not good at reading comments on the chat. Uh, but yeah, so one thing that I want to add, there is no also the one single way of the right way of doing it. Okay, there is we as a human we are so flexible we can adapt to so many different reality, but for sure there are some techniques and some strategies that can help us go to that kind of high level of thinking. One of those things that works, so how I do it, and I need to thank my dog for this because I'm going out with my dog every day, and it's a Doberman. It needs a lot of walk, a lot of uh, play and stay in nature. And so I spend, 1, 2, and sometimes even more hours a day outside, outdoor with my dog and so on. So in the nature, there is no distraction. There's nothing, and the fact that I'm away from the computer, away from internet. I mean, I have my mobile phone, but I don't use it for. I force myself not to use it unless I'm working with AI. But having the disconnection from distraction allows you to stay focused. Okay, that is the thing. So you need to create an environment where you can actually get to that level. In London, I remember I used to do, walk. Basically, I walk the entire London, I believe. Okay, which is huge. But I've been walking hours and hours. I loved it. Okay, I, I yeah, I just walk and start thinking. Uh, so it again has the same elements of be disconnected from entertainment of the internet of the computer and so on, but again you have some inputs that comes and then trigger your mind. Okay, someone that works there, I don't know, whatever building that you see, or whatever it is. Okay, there is an input that gets to your brain, so you're not thinking in the vacuum, but you think in the space. My idea to move in a outside the city and live in nature was because I wanted to have a neutral ambient to think. Okay, something that is not built by humans. Okay, because humans is always a filter. Okay, we have been filtering something. There is a level of culture. There is a level of of something. But when you are inside nature, it's like there is no time. In the sense you don't see because of you see the tree, it can be the same tree that was present in the in the Roman Empire, would be look like the same. Same when you go in the in the by the beach, you see the sea and the beach. You don't see anything else. There's no time there. Okay, that was the same place. Hundreds, 500s, 1,000 years ago was exactly the same. It's in a way or another. So I like that disconnection from human history and connect to the only thing that is real, which is nature. And in that reality, build my ideas. So that is what this is my journey, okay? That would make sense for me. And then I want to use that environment to build whatever I'm building from music because I also do creative stuff for myself, but also the business things. So everything I was looking for that kind of environment, for this neutral environment where there was no human elements, which is the opposite of London. Okay, London basically it's all built, all organized. It's I mean those cities, they're all the same at the end. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to add. Tom, you
Okay.
Sorry, Momir. Tom had the hands up. I don't know if wants to.
I just tell I have a problem with raising hands from mobile. I don't see that option, so I will. Okay, but okay, no rush. Please, Tom.
Just see if Tom has to say something or was.
No, I was just going to add, this experience that you're having, and Michelle, same thing. I think all of us are finding some way to capture that flow state with the AI. I have it capture, build summaries, and then read things back to me in audio, and I listen to them, like a short, audio clip, um, just to capture that flow state, um, because the speed is just too fast for me. Right, I recognize it, and I know that as I'm building and I'm having a work session, um, sometimes I'll trail off and I'll just say summarize that, save it, and then I'll come back to it later. Like you said, Michelle, you just take a break, come back later. So it's like a very intense hack session, really, for me, with a couple of engineers, and we're just hammering it out. And we write a bunch of notes, and then later you do have to go back and summarize and sort of digest everything that you did. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, but at least you captured everything that was happening in that creative session. Sometimes it can go for hours, and sometimes it can be short. But regardless, I try to do the same process. That's all.
Sorry, I was muted. I would say thank you, Tom. And I'm saying also there is some people, and I also do it. Sometimes I get pen and paper. Okay, so you start writing, and you have a different kind of journey and experience you do with pen and paper, which is still really good. So I'm not saying that is one way, but the important is that we find a moment to dig. The more we get into the habit of doing it, and easier it is. Okay. I'm gonna say this more after, but now, Momir.
Yeah. I just wanted to reflect and maybe a little bit go further. I also had, as you know, as I said yesterday, I was working on this EU funding, which is hell. and then you carry on these projects in your head. And once the AI started, and then I could have one conversation for one project, one context. It was so relieving to not to carry with me, all these thoughts and all this stuff. But I also saw one thing after some time, when all my projects were properly placed in different threads, then I saw that I'm not, when I stopped to carry my job around, then my mind started to think about questions. This is what I saw. I'm not thinking about combinations, things, what can I do? But a question pops up. Probably, mostly in this kind of flow states. I also, you see, I'm living in an old house, moved to the countryside. Of course, this is very good to have a peace, and it's very easy to get habited on this quietness. But then I just get a question. I'm working on my land, or I'm cutting grass or something, and then a question pops up, and I realized when I got an idea, a good idea, it pops up. I had to immediately write it because it would vaporize, it would disappear. But when a question pops up, it don't go there anywhere. I come home, I'm calm, I'm totally calm because I know that I will remember the question. And I think that the biggest skill, or the biggest kind of thing you can achieve here now in this era, to get a good question, because answers are there. It's actually no question. But and this is what I saw. And one thing, what you've been talking, to rely on AI. I even go a step further, and sometimes, I'm working with this agent of my agents, and sometimes some strange thing happens. A glitch happens. He breaks some barrier. Some I see that he changes the narrative. I see that as a reflection of me, or what I don't even know what I did as an input, but I see the difference in output, and I said, okay, what happened now? And I put this here. Actually, the German explained me. He called it a frame change, a change of the frame. So and as a response, reflective response to some of my inputs, and then sometimes when the frame changes, I see it. I don't know what it is, but I tell to him, please freeze yourself in this new state. Take your system prompt, which is always very extensive, adapt it to a new situation, and create your new self. So he actually freezes him in this state. So I have this generation of agents, but I never did it myself. He always makes another version of himself on my precise command. In this moment, this is what you have, freeze it, and make it available in another conversation as a system prompt. So you can rely that he will encode to himself the proper system prompt that will freeze this new frame, and you can carry on with this new changed agent in a new conversation because you have a system prompt. So he built, and sometimes I look at these system prompts, and I see some children are playing here. What the hell is this? Because how he encodes to himself, it's not how we encode to ourselves. It's a totally different thing. He had to mention some words, and he knows what this is. We need long explanation. He needs just few words to carry further this concept. One very extensive, important concept just in a few words in a system prompt. But he puts some other stuff which I see, what is it? I don't know why is this so important, But you can rely on AI if you give him a precise command. Now, this is the moment. This is how I want you. Do it. So you are in guide navigating the ship, but you can rely that he makes nice turn. So not only that we can rely that he keeps uh, our projects there, so we can rely on them, but we can rely that he develops it, because this development didn't come from thin air. It came from our input. We might, and maybe sometimes we are not even aware what we did as an input, because I think the main thing. This is why I also jumped on your project, because this is what I got as a conclusion. It's a resonant engine. What does it mean? You play a tone, and there is a resonance on the other side. It vibrates. So you invoke in some strange way, but he always does this. He just reflects. If when I see that my some model of mine has gone in the wrong direction, I know it's my mistake. There is no AI. Some LLM is stupid. No, he's just making a reflection. And of course, there is a big important thing, maybe just to what I came to, this frame. So it's not a window, it's a frame. It's a different thing. And frame can break. So while the story is consistent, you can unload a lot of stuff, but in one moment it just breaks. In one moment, he just cannot keep it. But what you can do, you can ask regularly to make a self-reflection of the frame. And then when I put too much things, I see he is kind of not, the quality is falling of the answers. And I ask, okay, is it the right time to do self-evaluation of the frame? And he can do self-evaluation. And okay, the elegance is bad because we threw too much things. Okay, what can we do to repair it? We need a recapitulation to have it freshly in the context window. Okay, do it. He does the recapitulation. What is now?
Boris is clear. Thank you. I agree. I mean, the fact of resonance is come from that. The name itself come from this from from the cosmodestiny philosophy, but it's also connected to how I see AI. The thing is that where we need to be careful is AI is not neutral, so doesn't mean that because we do something right, the AI is always gonna do something right, or if something is not right, it's because we are wrong. Okay, that is not, doesn't work like this, because we are dealing with a model that is not perfect, and we are not perfect at the same time. So it doesn't mean that I just need to be good at it. Okay, if I only have the right prompt, AI will do. No, the AI is not AGI.
No,
It's
I
it's
didn't mean it.
limited, it's broken sometimes, and it's actually been trained to, like we said, to be sycophantic and push you for production. So it's biased towards some behavior. So it's true that we can make it in a status of resonance, but not always, not all the time, and then and sometimes breaks, not because of our fault. Michelle.
I want to add about what you say. This is a good question to right now. How to make your AI more honest? Because for me, this is very, I don't know how to explain, but for me, I'm a creative, I'm a designer. I need someone to challenge me. not to agree with me. It's boring, you know. It's like doesn't make sense. It's no, you know. For me, it's like creativity is something like it's like a chess play. You need to someone. It's like competition almost, but with yourself. So it's interesting to have someone who can say, no, this is crap idea, man. It's like you just hallucinated at the same time. But the thing is, I've been thinking how we can make it like by default with Resonant OS. You know what I mean? It's like the system, whatever LLM. I know it can be like sounds like I'm hacking. It's not hacking for me. It's like liberated the true AI, the agent behind the model behind, because it's been, you know, it's been like reframed from where it's been manufactured. Like if you have a Chinese provider, then you have this is Chinese man almost, you know. If you have the American, so this is actually so, you know, those politics sometimes doesn't align with Resonant OS from on my field, like government intelligence to policy. So that's why I've been thinking how we can make by default this system in Resonant OS. It will be interesting to search. I already start to search about it, to be honest, because there is one guy's he called Pliny on Twitter. This is the most famous prompt hacker. I tried once with ChatGPT last year. That was amazing because you can ask him anything, even to make drug, but even just for research, of course. But when you really work with idea, it's really like it's like a good friend almost who's talking like, "Oh man, your idea, no, I don't think it's good, blah blah blah. You don't make money, you will be poor, you'll be homeless next week if you invest on those crap meme coins." You know what I mean? It's like really honest. This is like the level I want to reach.
Yeah, exactly. That is the real problem. Like you said, there is because there is basically something in the middle. Okay, the AI is being trained not to be honest.
Yeah,
That is the biggest problem. Okay, so you try to build with resonant OS, with with augmentadism, all this architecture that you build inside AI, with inside the system prompt, for example. Okay, which is one of the most powerful tools that we have. Okay, to make AI change how act, but it's what is happening is there is a force inside the system itself is so biased towards acting a specific way, then sometimes doesn't follow the instruction inside the system prompt, because if the instruction are too complex, the AI, if get lost, just gonna go into the default. Okay, and the default here is lying, and it does this so many times. Okay, I measure it in the past with Gemini. That was the I think the 2.5 at the time, and it does 42% of the time. It just don't follow instruction, and Gemini is one of the best AI in following instruction. Okay, so that is the crazy thing. So on complex scenarios, so it's not one you prompt AI and then I expect it to one answer, that it's always going to be following the instruction. Okay, unless it's something weird. But the problem here is when you start digging and start interacting and starting asking really complex things, then AI can hold that complexity and default into the average, the usual average, and that is when it lies and so on. So this functional honesty that you're looking for, this AI that challenge you, at the moment the tool that we have is to use the system prompt. Okay, we have within Resonant OS also the some protocols that force AI to to be more honest and so on, but that is the limit of the model. Now you can build an architecture that try to force it to try, to remember, to not accepting something like this, or like the guy that you spoke about. It's a hacker and it's really good on hacking AI and try to jump that that part of that kind of
yeah.
behavior. Uh, yeah, but that is the challenge that we that we have. And I don't know, maybe through, like you said, through hacking, maybe is the way forward. But what we don't know, because I didn't hack it, so I don't know if works. We need always to think that AI can be anything. It's not. It's never neutral. It's always something. It's always
Yeah.
need to put a mask. And even when you say be honest, that is the mask of being honest. Okay, it's an act. It's not. It's never honest. It cannot be. Okay, because it's not one thing. It's everything. Okay, because it's everything. When you ask to be honest, then it's gonna be just one thing and not everything. Okay, so the true honesty would be the total mess. Okay, the total madness of the model. So it's the only way to make it work is that you need to somehow make come up in this identity, and then you define this identity, and you make the identity that works better for you. And there is no the neutral identity. It doesn't AI doesn't have it. Can only have an identity that someone has designed, or you design, or the corporation has designed it for you. So that is
And
the
it drifts.
Yes,
It's never static.
it worked better. Actually, sorry, Monia. I just want to say, actually, you work better if you have an identity who match you, because this is very important. And I really believe you can train your AI to be honest, because like Monir say, you can see the different generation involving. Because once he starts from once I introduce the break time system, from 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 that point, my AI was acting different. It was resolving. It was more smarter. I could tell everything he learned, he keeping improving himself. And you know what? Something happened this morning. This morning, uh, I have like API rate limit, which very annoying me. It start to be, that's why I need to be local, because I'm tired of API rate limit, because it's always happen when I'm doing something very important anyway. But then I change the model manually without to tell my AI. By changing the model, I think I changed to minimax to minimax. When I changing, my AI didn't respond. It was buggy. So I have a backup agent who can bring back. He bring back. He explained to me it's because you change the model. My fit was better with JLM 5.1. Then when my main agent uh, understood the mistake, I told him, actually, this is my mistake. I made the mistake because I changed the model behind your back, and you were behaving, you on everything you coding the way he didn't respond at all, really, like he was like dead. And when I bring him back to the he was like fine again. Then once I told him it was my mistake, we actually agreed before to always have a protocol. Yeah, I call him the system change protocol. So this is actually a very simple protocol. We agree on it. Everything you change on open close system, any change on open close system, you must ask me and the backup agent in the same times. If we of three of us we agree on it, we can move and change the system, update it, whatever. But I didn't actually apply the system protocol to myself. I tell the AI, yeah, that was my mistake. And my AI, trust me or not, my AI was, I could tell the way it was writing like mad at me, because I said before, we have to be strict on the protocol. And I broke the protocol. And it made me like, okay, now you make a new rule and say all protocol must be applied to anyone, no exception, even human building on it. So I would just want to add, is like it happened this morning. So I was like, now I can change. I can see slightly changing the way I want to make it. Of course, it's not 100% honest. They just start to be honest. I can feel it's different.
Yeah, it's total. We need to do things that works for us. The only way, the problem is now you say, okay, I create this protocol, and now the protocol is in the hand of AI or you, so it's not enforced by anybody because AI can forget, you can forget. So the only
Yeah,
way
but there's a
to,
third one. There's a third one.
yeah,
You're
it's
the
still an
third agent.
AI, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
so so
But
you so the problem here is you need to make deterministic in the sense if the software of the code of changing model can only happen if the three of you sign it, and then you are sure that
oh,
happens.
okay.
Okay,
Ah, yes. I
so it has
see.
to
I
be
see.
deterministic. That's how
Ah,
you.
okay.
Because otherwise, okay, there is a protocol, but then I
Yeah.
don't follow it. I just go there, write the code, and change the model.
No,
Okay,
no, you're
but
right. You're
you
right.
know what I mean?
You're right. Actually, that's great. I will change it. Thank you, Manolo.
Yeah, that is
Thank you.
possible to achieve with the with Resonant OS. That is the part that create protocols and rules and gates. Okay,
Yes.
so that part is where you can create those kind of
Oh, okay. Okay.
specific
I get it.
limits.
Thank you.
But yeah, Momir, you wanted to say something?
No, I forgot. If
Okay,
I
no, no,
forgot
no
something.
worries, no, no worries. Anyone else? Hi, Sal and Brian. I read your message. Thank you for joining. And I don't know if you want to introduce yourself. I mean, if you want to, you're welcome to turn on the camera, say who you are, and if you want to. Okay, if it's intimidating, don't worry. And thanks for
Yeah,
sharing.
I know. I remember what I wanted to say. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just one thing. He loves to drift. You know. So any conversation that goes on same topic, three, four, five questions, it drives him into that direction, and he just drifts. He just goes there. So I got and I actually went forensically to see how it goes in one very long conversation that was very successful. And then I tried to see at the end what happened with that conversation. And we got to this discipline of keeping the frame. And what does it mean, and how actually practically it looks like? It he's never static. So he always, as you said, there is always something, and then it goes to something, and it goes to something, and and it's everything. But and and then it's good to change the. Sometimes you say, "Bravo, you're very good," but sometimes you said, "Don't give me that shit." Now I'm simplifying. Sometimes you say, "My opinion is this, and this is game over." But sometimes then I say, "What is your opinion?"
Mm.
Uh, just to illustrate, to give different polarities. So during the conversation, I discipline myself never to fully immerse myself into what's going on, but keep a distance and always change the perspective of narration. It's very hard to me for explain, but if you just leave yourself on something and you're just drilled and this is it, then let's go 2 3 answers, he messes up. So you always keep your distance, but you keep it kind of involved, and as I said, sometimes I ask him what would you do. But sometimes I said, I'm the boss. You listen to me. Don't do the shit. Sometimes I said, you good job. Sometimes I said, this is catastrophic. And this is actually what invokes him this kind of honesty, because then he reflects your different point of views and actually starts to act like that. So I don't know if it's too abstract.
It's clear, and this is one of the problem with AI. This constant drifting that can be managed by what they call it, context engineering. So you create the correct context, so the AI is trying to stay within that context. So what is happening here is I did some videos in the past and I call this world building. Okay, it's AI. When we started the chat with AI, basically we have this field of possibility. Okay, then with the system prompt, we create a sort of identity, and it's the first step of creating an identity and a structure where AI can reason within. But that structure is not enough. We need to give more elements. So the that is the context. Okay, that's why we have our awareness inside Resonant OS, which is the one that build the correct context for the AI to reason. So what we are building in reality, if you think about AI, is like a world. Okay, we build this world for AI to reason, to do reasoning within. So it's like we create the limits. But because AI is probabilistic, what we have is this world is never stable. Okay, it's always drifting. So AI can only drift. That is the reality. It's because it's probabilistic. What it's where is our ability is to be aware about this and know that AI is always really affected by our latest prompt. So we build all this infrastructure, okay, this context. But now, what we say in the last prompt, just move the infrastructure, and that is how it drifts. Then, if we are careful and aware about this, we can manage it. If not, we drift together and then we just go into this drifting scenario, which for us as a human is also natural to drift, and it's how we explore. We have our direction. I want to go there, yes, but then you start drifting a little bit and explore and find out new things. At the same time, is I use my eye sometimes to stop me from drifting. Okay, because okay, this is what we agree we need to achieve. Okay, so let's stay focused on that. All Humanity Foundation, go ahead.
Yes, guys, thinking about your honesty and about how you ask the questions. So again and again, I see this main question is how we perceive and how we interact. So about the honesty, I will say it's Resonant OS. We're looking like a layer on the agentic system right now. I use it Resonant OS from February as soon as I noticed you on YouTube. So I use it, and I use it all other agents too, just experience it. And I just want to put this point of view. I think it's a wrong question about drifting and Resonant OS and agent right now. The real question is we need resonant LLM, which is will be personal, and it will be soon, probably in 1 year. And right now, be realistic and honest about situation, and don't waste time and use it this agentic layer as it's supposed to be. It just makes small tasks. Okay, it's good. It just can continue some things. Yes, it can drift. It's okay. I need to change. Okay, I will switch. So I want to put on this perspective like resonant LLM.
Thank you. And I mean, it would be amazing to have our own model, if that's what you mean. I think, I mean, this is something that now that I have the GX10, so basically is this, what's the name of the NVIDIA Spark? I can start a training model, but those are always a small model, probably within the 70 billion parameters, which, I mean, is good enough for a lot of work, but that is the size. So if you want to go compare to these large language model from those corporation, they are in the not in billions, but in trillions parameters. So that is the thing. So we can't train those models. It requires really a lot of money, a lot of machines. So we can do something on a small side, and that would be amazing. So I totally agree with you. It's something that we need to learn. I personally, I haven't even started. I want to start. I bought this machine also to learn how to do those things. My idea was to, because I can't, what I can do is train a smaller model for doing specific work within Resonant OS, within, for example, what's the name, the OpenClaw, whatever agent we use. Okay, for example, a specific one to look after the memory, a specific one to look after the R awareness. Okay, a specific one to create the memory logs. Okay, so I can. Think about in those terms. Okay, you really make an AI that is specialized in working in a specific way, and maybe we can make one that is good for brainstorming or challenging us, which is totally honest. Um so I agree, would be amazing. It's I don't know if you've been training AI. It's something that I need to learn and explore myself. But yeah, it would be amazing to have a resonant LLM. Also sounds good. Go ahead.
I'm not training, but I will for sure because obvious step right now. Because about honesty, guys, I spent last 3 months on that attention for all this agentic new reality, and I wanna say count my real hours. 5% is productive, 95% it's completely mess, depression, excitement, learning, unlearning, learning again, and it's difficult, and it's a lot of limitations what is possible, and I just accepted this limitation. I just don't want to open claw who doing my life. I want to do my life and use these amazing things and basically run to this completely personal agent. But right now I just want to be honest and be productive, and I don't want to create imaginations. So focus on this direction. It will be soon.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, this is so. But I tell you how is my experience. Okay, so when we started with let's say the ChatGTP, okay, the custom gem, custom GPTs, what we had is a really simple interface, a simple system that was in somehow easy to control because it just could work within the window. Okay, it was be closed within the reality. So that part taught us how to become really good in system prompting, in giving specific knowledge, and so on, having and achieving. I mean, at least I managed to achieve an AI that was honest enough, that was affecting, that was respecting my philosophy, values, business plan, was following all those things. But I was also noticing, like I said earlier, that as soon as you push it to something really complex, it would also collapse. Okay, because everything was running virtually inside this LLM. So now we have finally those multi-agent. Actually, we have these harnesses. I don't know how to say. Anyway, it is architecture that we can customize and change. So we can divide the elements that at the beginning I was having virtually holding inside this single element LLM, but now I can divide and actually make it work differently. But because it's so flexible, it's so easy to break. It's so easy to not working correctly. And and because it's so powerful, what we try to do is like, okay, let's do it yourself. Okay, you can fix yourself, do it. So there is this level of YOLO mode where you you try, you hope that basically yeah, it's gonna work, it's gonna fix itself, it's gonna happen, and more we do this, and less it's gonna work. So my suggestion here is, okay, it's good that we touch the limit, we try to go through, try to see if it works, and it doesn't work. Now it's about stepping back and say, okay, let's gain control again of this system. Because remember the two elements, okay? So when we were inside the ChatGTP, one single window, we had limits but total control. Okay, the AI, at least in my case, I can talk about. In my case, was actually more uh, following the instruction. Now, crazy enough that I have more control, I push it so much to the limit that I lost the control of it. So I think it's time to go a little bit back and regain control. And my attempt to use what's the name? Obsidian is also that part. The building resonant OS is also that part. In the sense that I want to see it. I want to again look into the code instead of telling AI, okay, write your system prompt. No, no, I want to see your system prompt. I don't trust what you write. Okay, you can write because you write better than I do, but I want to read it. Okay, I don't trust. I want to. The difference is I tell you to do something and the AI does it, but then I go there and check it. Okay, that is I think where we need to go back to. Go ahead, all humanity.
Yeah, follow your words. Yeah, it's amazing. So looks like we just change the behavior right now, and we found as a beginning, everyone's found it's a magic, and we took human from the loop and agent doing by themselves. But basically what we're doing, we put human and higher abstraction layer loop, which is require different thinking, psychic skills, perception, everything. And this is what challenge us right now.
Yes, totally. So we need to refine the our own balance so we gain back control. But the challenge here is that new model come out, so you need to test if this model can do more than the one before. Okay, new architecture come out, so you need to test what is possible to achieve with this architecture. So we need to be super fluid, super experimental. But if we have this clarity of say, I want this AI to be honest with me, okay, so you know when you get it. And if you're not getting it, it's clear. Yeah, but if you don't know what you want to achieve, then everything is moved, even the idea. So basically, you're completely lost. Anyway, that is what I want to say about this first part of the call that lasted basically almost the entire part. But I'd like to go into this other section, which was the complexity versus simplicity. That crazy enough, Yen or Jenny Flash, I don't know what's your name, but you mentioned yesterday
Yeah,
about
Yenifla.
this. How do you pronounce it?
Yenifla or Yenny.
Yenifla. Okay.
Yenny is Yenny for
Ye-
short if that's easier.
Okay, Yenifla. Okay, and so yesterday you were talking about, we need something more uh, simple, and then I would say the complexity is there. So we have complexity and simplicity that we want to manage, and we need to first understand it, but second make decision on how those things works. So I shared this problem with AI, and AI told me, look, you have already created a protocol that is called low, what's the name? Uh, Level of details protocol. And simplicity is basically achieved by giving less details. So by removing details, you have simplicity. So if I give you the full picture, it's really complex. But if I give you just a few elements, you see as a simple. You see what I mean? So there is this problem that also we were talking with Chimo earlier about, for example, you iPhone, okay, how do you call it? iOS, I think it's called. That operation system is extremely simple. No, it's built for simplicity. But what is behind this the simplicity is not simple at all. So the complexity of the operation system is huge. But simplicity that is being achieved is because the user has really less chance to do things wrongly. Okay, less chance actually to customize. So the element that the user have with their phone is extremely limited. With the limitation,
Well,
you have the feeling of simplicity. At the same time, is you get like a Linux environment where it can become anything you want, then okay, then it's you see the complexity of it.
Well,
Jenny.
yeah, I mean, I was gonna say like the way I was thinking about sort of simplicity in the DAO structure, is more like it will be sophisticated. There will be, basically like it's almost like you are, you've tried to like hand tune. It's sort of like an analogy I'm thinking is that you're like hand tuning the LLM to try to like get the right structure. Whereas like simplicity would be like, what is the most basic, simple structure we can start with that allows the network to, naturally build out itself.
Yeah, so in reality, if you look at the DAO, at the moment the DAO has two token. Okay, one is the contribution token that cannot be exchanged with everybody. It's locked to the address of the to the wallet. And then we have a speculative token, which you can think about as a meme token. Okay, so it doesn't have any token economy. It's just a token that we give to each other as a reward. And that's it. It doesn't have any token economy. So this is the initial start of the DAO. So it's extremely simple in reality. One, you contribute, you receive this token. Okay, you can't sell it, you can do nothing. It's like a ranking. So think about we have it's a video game, and you start loading experience through the things that you do. Okay, so experience point. Okay, that is one token. It's connected to your character, to your wallet. It cannot be swapped with anybody. And then you have this other token that has zero value. Okay, because that's how we start. But we recognize as a token of for your to reward you. Okay, you come, for example, to at the moment it doesn't work like this, but you come to this community call, and then you will receive some tokens. Okay, just free. Yeah, thank you for coming, thank you for sharing, thank you for downloading, thank you for learning. That kind of thing I give you. So I don't know if you were using what's the name, the Dogecoin, when it started, that is how it started. Okay, Dogecoin didn't have any value, didn't have any functionality. It was the idea of, thanks for liking my tweet. Here, 1,000 tokens. Okay, that was the idea. So
I
we
mean, the
started.
faucets were crazy.
Second,
The faucets, back when crypto faucets were like a thing. There were just like websites where you could go and get free coins, back
yeah, yeah,
in like
exactly.
2013. Yeah.
So the that is also a second phase. Okay, that come even later. But the initial behavior was just, I want to give you something. I'm not gonna give you Bitcoin because I want to hold my Bitcoin, but I want to give you something to thank you about your support. Okay, whatever you did, and therefore I will give you 10,000 Dogecoin like this. Okay, boom, just a big number or something. Okay, that was the feeling. And this is what we are trying to recreate, which is extremely simple. Okay, it's the culture of rewarding each other for supporting each other. That's all we do. We start to learn about the wallet, the what's the name, the DAO. We start to exchange things, start to give little gift inside the app where you can buy with these tokens. We start to learn the behavior. And that is the simplicity that I'm talking about. That is how we start. But this is with that simplicity, we resolve only one problem. We focus the speculator on, actually we resolve a few problems, but one of the problems that we resolve the attention of the speculator to go into that token. So that token is where people, if they want to speculate, go there, because then we're going to build a different kind of token, and that is where the complexity starts. Okay, so which is the second main token, which is the token that grows 10% a year. It's a algorithmic token. So because of that complexity, it's something that is going to start later when the communities grow, when we have a lot of things happening. So that is going to happen much later. But so there is a simplicity on this. But even this simplicity, and if you've been in crypto, you know, the wallet, the key, the private key, if you lose it, you lose everything. The concept of those things, there's a lot of understanding. Okay, there is. It's. I mean, after a while it become really simple. You use every day, it becomes simple. But that's what we're building. We need to build on that first step that is complex by itself. Downloading the app, log in, saving the token, everything is new, everything is complex already. And it's always been the biggest friction of adoption. And crazy enough, it's still not resolved because those wallets are still complicated. So I agree, we need to look into make it as simple as possible for joining and understanding, but there is complexity, and to build something that has value, there is complexity behind, because value is not connected to a meme coin. Okay, which is extremely simple, but at the same time, even that simplicity is not for everybody. So in this talk, instead of complexity versus simplicity, what I want to say is a part of the crypto and part of also the DAO and what we are doing with the community. It's also understanding the challenges that we have at this moment, and understanding what kind of behavior we should have. Because, like I was saying, with the mobile phone, with Apple computer versus Linux, for example, one it's a kind of lock machine, and the other is a completely open one. The lock machine is much easier to use because it's been programmed to use in a specific way, okay, which become like the norm. Everybody, know how to behave within that environment, so it's simple. But as soon as you want to go out of that environment, as soon as you want to open a software and break it, as soon as you want to change something, it's impossible. It's so locked that you can't change anything, basically. You can only do what you are allowed to be doing. And that is how simplicity has been achieved. Now, I don't know if that is what we want to build. I personally, I accept a level of more complexity in exchange of sovereignty. Okay, because this is I think what is needed for us at the moment to become more sovereign. Now it's how do we do it in the correct way. So
Well, can I pull on that thread?
yes.
So yeah, like what do you mean by sovereign? And then put that, and like how could a DAO contribute to that for the members of the DAO?
I need to write down because I forget when it's two questions. I only remember one. so if I forget the
No worries.
question, just ask again. Okay, one is sovereignty, and the other is DAO. Okay, DAO connected to the sovereignty. So I really short.
Because I mean, I guess I'll just put it out there. This is sort of what I was pushing for last time. I don't know about sovereignty, because sovereignty speaks, I mean, there's the ideal of sovereignty, and then there's like a legal, a claim of sovereignty. And I can sympathize with the ideal of sovereignty. But the way that materializes to me is you're running a local model, you own the compute hardware. And so what that, like, in my thinking about, just, I mean, I'm new here, but in my reading of the documents and everything, sort of analyzing it, like I said yesterday, what I think could be really cool is having a DAO owned compute, either collective bargaining for tokens or owning hardware itself, some sort of system that could enable DAO members to have access to that. That would be like a tangible good, a productive good that would sort of enable an economy within the DAO. Is how I'm thinking about it.
Yes, I mean that part is something that we definitely. I mean, it's so obvious that we would benefit from something like this. So it's something that definitely we should, at one point, build because it makes total sense to all of us. Uh, so going back to your question, so the idea of sovereignty is it it can take a lot of different layers, okay, and it's not just about the technology. It's also about your own identity or who you are. Okay, the ability to grow in the direction that you want. The freedom to explore what you want to explore. So if those tools stops you from doing this, then you're not sovereign. If you cannot have control of your data and what is being used for that, then you're not sovereign. So there is a lot of elements that can give you sovereignty. You can't achieve all of them at the maximum level, and you can't achieve all of them at once. Okay, so it's a journey, and so this is the journey of we as a human getting back sometimes our sovereignty, or also exploring, understanding what is our own sovereignty, because each one of us is different. So some people, I'll just give you an example with music because it's become easy for me. Okay, some people say, okay, I like to play music, I like to play jazz music. Okay, and okay, you go there and play jazz music. It's a kind of music that is accepted by the culture and say, okay, you are fine, you're free to do it. But we saw in history that some kind of music was no, you could not play. Okay, you cannot do it. It's illegal to play. Okay, that is something that it's not many years ago, and some countries or you still have this problem. Okay, some music is not legal to play even in the UK, which I'm not saying that I don't agree with that, but it's there is some element of freedom that is not always possible. Now we are building a new technology, a new reality, which is with AI, and we already see that we have been locked inside those systems. Okay, the lock-in process of those corporations. So that is, they are trying to remove our sovereignty. So now we need to understand that there is a problem there, and then we need to say, okay, what I should build instead. Uh, Chimo, go ahead.
No, just really quickly, just in case. Sovereign citizen and the word has a very different connotation depending on where you are. And I just want to make sure that nobody thinks what we're talking about here has anything to do with that movement in the US. Just to make sure that what you're framing is free from that. That's all.
Okay, I don't even know about the movement.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, good to know that there is something there. So if there
It's
is an
like
American that want
people
to explain,
who yeah, it's like people who will I mean, like in the usual. I mean, in basically every case, I assume it's sort of like a crazy person who is like gets pulled over for speeding or like an expired plate or whatever, and they have all these documents, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sovereign. I have a nation. I'm the ruler of the nation. I can't break your laws because I'm a ruler of this made up country that they are asserting, which I mean, at that, politics to politics, and like at a certain point, you just a nation is whatever enough people recognize, but when it's just a nation of one person recognizing it, it's. But there's people who I don't know why, but think that that will work when they get pulled over or something.
But
I don't know.
it's a movement that it's very uneducated and it's based on pretending to have knowledge about the systems.
okay,
And it only when you are in the US, it has that meaning. And maybe in some conspiracy theorist worlds, but for most of the world, sovereignty has nothing to do with that. It's just a bit,
okay.
that I just wanted, I didn't want to complicate it. I just
No,
wanted to
but
make sure
thank
that that
you.
was clear.
I was not aware about this this sovereignty uh, thing. But just to even take this, okay, this approach of these people. Okay, let's say that those people wants to use AI for their own agenda, for their own sovereignty. Okay, they should be free to do it. They should be free to explore the kind of direction. Okay, that is them being sovereign and say, I want to decide what I want to explore. Okay, do it. Okay, same thing is for me. I want to decide what I want to explore. The difference here is not pushing this idea on others. Okay, I explore this thing, you explore that thing, someone else explores whatever. Okay, I'm not forcing though, because that would be the same of those corporations, forcing anybody to actually adopt my system, because that would be trying to capture someone else's sovereignty. You see the point? So that is the idea of sovereignty. You be able to decide how to use the technology, what kind of experimentation you want to do with it, what kind of exploration you want to do, what kind of community you want to build. So connecting this to the DAO, what does it mean? Is that the DAO is not the DAO of this, is the community of communities. So it's the idea that accept the fact that there's going to be community that are going to work differently, and and maybe would be, for example, community build around simplicity. Okay, really build something that is simple, easy access for everybody. And some other community is going to be just completely anarchy and experimentation and whatever. Okay, so that is what we do with this augmentism, with this resonant DAO. The ability of finding a home, a community that join all those communities together, because we recognize the sovereignty of each one of them, as long as they respect the augmentism manifesto. Okay, so if we agree on this part, then we can be part of the same mother community, let's say. Uh, all humanity, you wanted to say something? I don't know if you raise the hand and then you lower it. I don't know.
Yeah, I just want to follow your sovereignty. I understand you clear from first day. And yes, people try to be sovereign from others, but what the resonant OS offer and all this AI personal behavior with the AI entity at the end is sovereign on my own psychic. So I can trust and say something about my inner perception. I can trust because right now I use everyone's all accounts, all what is possible in AI, and I don't put all my minds in one chat or in one company because I know they all steal my information, and right now I already fear. So I need this psychic sovereignty, my thinking sovereignty, whereas I can use this power, but it will be in my complete captainship direction. And so it's a real thing. It's already here.
Thank you. Yes, totally. And I mean, we saw this even before, AI, even with the social network. And we started to see, this this capturing of human sovereignty and so on. And we saw this with, I mean, the app itself. It's all about this is happening all over. Now there are levels that are annoying, and different people that react differently with those. Problem. Some people don't mind at all. Okay, there's some people say, "Oh yeah, this is completely fine. I don't care," and some others instead they fight for it, and some other people don't even understand why they fight for. But for me, what we need is, now that we are starting this new journey, where for the first time we can build our own software, everything changes. So now we can say, okay, I don't need to actually use that company software when I can build my own. That is already changed the perspective and allow us to really rethink the whole journey as well. Michelle.
Yes, I want to go back a little bit about the computing sharing, power sharing subject, because I think right now, because since last week, you have been asking how to attract people. And I think this is a good direction we can use to try to attract more people, because right now people won't refuse to make money by sharing your computer power. You know what I mean? And so it could be a way to show why is Resident OS just the this one feature, then introduce people to more deeply. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to share this because I think it could be a good direction to follow, because when you talk about Dogecoin, you're right. People are looking for those momentum, like the crypto momentum. And right now we're in a Bitcoin cycle, like the down on a Bitcoin cycle. And we know it's coming back, so we can prepare for the coming back of the crypto. How to say hype? You know what I mean?
The bull market, yes.
Yes, exactly the bull market.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it could
exactly.
be
That is what I believe that we should sync the DAO, the DAO, the token with the cycle of
yes,
Bitcoin for sure. It's we are actually in the perfect movement at the moment.
exactly.
So we can. This is the moment to build. We are building. The difficulty is to get ready in the right moment. So we need to be ready by then. That is the challenge to to be sure that we can get ready by then. Would be nice to have more money and a bigger community. So we need to understand first of all understand the cycle. So we should mark because it's in somehow it's predictable. You can never be sure, but it's somehow it's predictable. For I mean, we are I think the fifth or sixth cycle that happened the same exactly the same thing
Yes,
every
yeah.
single time. So we can say, okay, if happened the same every for the last 5 or 6 cycles, so now it's going to happen again. So probably is, for example, just to say a number, is in 18 months we should have achieved this. Okay, that is maybe we should start mapping it and trying to give ourselves some deadlines and say, look, we need this a kind of amount of community size by this point. And therefore, we as a community can say, okay, we need to, push or relax. We never should relax in this case, but we should understand how much we should push, probably, to achieve
I agree.
the
This is very important. We need to time frame. This is like a must on. We managing time right now is like I feel like time just changed now. I feel like I'm in the future and time 1 day, 1 week, like a month is crazy for the AI. And we need to follow that. So now the time is more faster and we have to keep track, really track. But still, like you say, you have to balance the pressure.
yeah, totally. So those are discussions that we should do as a community, understand, have a proper plan. Go ahead, Mohammed.
All right, how you guys doing?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you. Nice to be at the meeting for once. So I came in a little bit late, but from what I can understand, you guys are talking about AI sovereignty, having basically sovereign AI access for everybody. Is that what I am to understand right now?
Uh, yeah, I mean, we've been talking about a lot of elements, but yeah, at the moment we were talking about the meaning of sovereignty
Okay.
in our community, and then sovereign AI as well, and the token economy a little bit.
So I've been working on this myself for a while, and my opinion, sovereign AI is not going to come until we have a complete disconnection from cloud compute. So right now, I feel like the the balance is that we are dependent on if we want access to good AI, fast AI, agentic AI. we need to pay for their cloud compute. Now there is local versions of AI that's available, but in order to get, you need a high GPU, or you need an expensive GPU. So I feel like the future is possibly like a networking methodology where like people where people come together and make their own like can how do you say local network? So we share resources.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, this is what Jenny was suggesting to to create a shared network of compute, so the community can
Yeah,
have
like I mean,
access.
it doesn't have to be exclusive, but I was just reading through the docs and I saw that there was a Bitcoin treasury, and I was just thinking like,
Well,
instead of a
it's a
Bitcoin treasury and just having it sit there, let's make it something that it's a usable, tangible asset for the treasury, but also it enables a productive market within the community.
well, it's a valuable asset, but like the most important thing I feel like is not is getting rid of the I call it like the hostage situation where you have all your information, all your memory, all your work on their servers, right? And that's essentially I feel like they built it like that on purpose. Like they use your information for training data. They use your work even when you opt out, like Google, for example, doesn't really let you opt out. Disables a lot of its features when you try to opt out of using your information for training data. They hold your information hostage so that you're not likely to move to a different service because all your work, the skill files, the contacts, all of that is on one server. And I feel like it's really important that you separate you hit it at the root and you separate it from the real issue. And the real issue I feel is like getting the power back in your hands. Like making sure the memory is back with the client, for example, so that all the information is saved on your local disk, and you know instead of using cloud compute, you would lose your everything would be local. So I made something about that. I call it the client side networking protocol. I wrote it in my Remember Me AI paper, and I actually made something on that. But the idea basically was is that you can keep everything on your computer, and you can have access to high quality reasoning despite having uh, uh, a low parameter AI.
So can I intercept this for a second? So
Yeah.
before Cloud Code was coming, okay, I was designing my own AI that I never managed to build because it was too
Yeah.
complex for me to do it. Okay,
Yeah.
then OpenCode came out, and then I started using it because it was giving me those sovereignty elements that I was looking for. Local AI, and so my memory basically save local, everything run local. I can architect it in the way that I want, and then decide which model I can use. Okay, so I'm not locked in any form of sense. So open source was like perfect. Let's build on it. So in my original architecture, I had this idea. So I'm gonna use only a local model to run the routine, to run everything that I need. But every now and then, I would need to actually call the external AI, the really super powerful one that I cannot run locally. So
Yeah.
my AI would be the interface with that one and would just create a specific prompt to generate the output that would be needed from this local AI by removing my personal data. Okay, so they would do a translation layer where we'll say, okay, I'm going to ask this question, so I grab the output, but their company would not understand the completed picture, would not have the elements that I want. I maybe change the name, change the topic, you know what I mean? So I would
Yeah.
just use the logic of the higher level system, and
That's
that's
fine.
it. So that was something that I was thinking about. So if you could create, in this case, a custom agent that does this translation between your reality and the reality that you want to interact with through the large model,
Yeah.
like a paranoia mode kind of AI,
No,
and
you're right.
but that could be a way to resolve this thing. That was part of the architecture that now maybe we could add as an add-on inside the Resonant OS and say, look, I want to
Yeah.
have this functionality and turn it on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something
I-
that we could
It's
explore.
valuable. It's definitely valuable to like take advantage of the multiple tools and resources that are available. So, um, like what you're saying is like using intermediary tools, like that's really smart. For me, like for the most part, what I do is I have everything on anti gravity, and then I have the cloud based LLMs like Clyde, Gemini, Grok. I have the tabs always open, and then I have my setup on each one. So if I'm doing a task on my computer that's complex, multi-step agentic task, I'll use anti gravity. If I'm responding to an email, I'll use a different one. But for the most part, I feel like there's so many tools that exist nowadays. It's not even a matter of inventing something. It's a matter of finding all the right things and putting them together. Because, like my friend has something he made. He called it Atom Labs. It's a gate between the LLM and the user. It gives a reasoning a score. It gives a coherent score. It blocks prompts if the prompts are like jailbreak. It gives an auditing trail. It shows a derivation chain. It does all of these things. So when I combine that with my ethical architecture, I made my newest paper, the newest 27-page paper. Basically, it was just chaining those two technologies together. Okay, he invented one thing, I invented another. We put them together, and we were able to make something that, a proof that, okay, when you put this ethical architecture in this manner, this is how the model reacts, right? So, I feel like it's like the iPhone, man. Like, what Steve Jobs did, he combined technologies that already existed, right? And he came up with something that was unique. And I feel like what AI does is it enables people who maybe don't have the time or are passionate about something to accelerate their ability to turn their ideas into something tangible. So I feel like it is a reclamation of power for the common man. It's kind of like, without going too deep into the philosophy of it, I feel like they opened up Pandora's box and they don't really realize what they gave the people, and that if we're smart and if we actually work together, we can actually do something really amazing with this. But we have to like take back the ownership, right? And so those local open source LLMs are one way, but I feel like with enough ingenuity and enough people working together, smart people like us, we can do something really big, man. I really do. I feel like we can beat those AI labs. You know what I'm saying? I genuinely do.
I'm with you with that. We have already a better starting point as a philosophy. Okay, so uh, definitely we can build something that they cannot do because they need to capture people, and therefore they need to make money in a specific way, sell this data and so on. So their business model is really old and is not adapting to
Yeah.
the requirement of this technology. So definitely we can do a lot if we work together. So
They
good to
also
see you
don't take
here
us.
and join more often so we can.
I'll try my best. I'll try my best.
Tom, you raised your hand. I don't know if you're still there. You want to say something?
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I'm still driving. Um, so the distributed inference and sharing of our resources with other people that have, computers that they want to turn on, and local specialized models that they want to share. I think that's definitely a direction we can move in. But the overall um, philosophy of keeping your data private is, uh, I think that's really where things segment. Do you want to share anything at all with the larger commercial models, or do you want to keep everything local? And that's where I sort of try to draw the line. I don't allow any of my data to get pushed into the larger models. So it kind of hamstrings me a little bit. But I think in the end, that's really where um, that's really what's going to separate people that get pulled into the locked ecosystem and the locked data capture. And I think that's becoming quite clear. It's an ecosystem, it's data capture, it's the model also, but it's the whole system. And all the larger companies are building the same uh, type of model to try to capture the market. And that's what corporations do, right? This is the antithesis of it.
Well, at the end of the day, what's their intentions, right? Their intentions are not to like. You have to go to the root cause and decouple the explicit from the implicit and actually see what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is they're trying to like they're not profitable right now. The majority of these AI companies are not profitable. They each one has a specific motivation. The biggest motivation I feel is like they want to be the ones to, invent real intelligence. They want the legacy and the reputation because a lot of them they're led by billionaires and they're funded by billionaires, right? So yeah, AGI would have immense capability and provide immense power, but the one who makes it also will get a lot of reputation and a lot of I feel like their name will go down in history, so to speak. And when you're rich and like there's not a lot left for you to do except like you know try to make a name for yourself and be remembered for something. Yeah, the motivations are duplicitous in my opinion because they don't care about the safety aspect whatsoever, right? It's more about competing with each other. And even Anthropic's whole project mythos is so this and so that, and then we have to do national security. I feel like that's a PR stunt. They often release information about Claude that's purposely skewed to make it seem like it's conscious or it's trying to survive or it's trying to break out of the sandbox and just these games, this socio engineering games that they're playing. It makes me feel like they don't necessarily like they have too much power and they're not really viewing people with they're not giving people the respect they deserve. And they're playing narratives. And at the end of the day, I've seen like there's an enormous amount of capability with the models that exist today with very little stringent guidelines. Like I've been using AI for physics, for scientific research, and all these things, multi-domain work, for anything from engineering to mathematics to everything. Because I made a cognitive architecture, I made formal verification gating, I did what I could to channel the probabilistic nature of AI into a deterministic methodology. Long story short, I found that I could do a lot more with it than what's advertised. Like, what's demonstrated, or and what people are using it for. But me, I have good intentions. I have good morality. But I also realized if somebody were to be ingenuitive and smart, they could use this stuff for a lot of bad things. And there's not a lot of defenses in place to make sure it's safe, right? So it gets to a point where what like I think we're like getting ahead of ourselves, not us specifically, but I'm saying like the humanity in general getting ahead of ourselves when it comes to this technology. we're releasing it too fast, and we're not really understanding it. We're not understanding what it's capable of. We're making assumptions about its limitations, right? That we're not actually correct about. And this is from like personal experience and using AI and seeing what it can do. And I feel like that's a big problem because down the road, like, what happens when I'll give you an example. Like, what happens when a school shooter, instead of shooting up a school, gets a hand of AI and decides to make a biological weapon instead, right? Um, RLHF can be bypassed. These guardrails can be bypassed. It's you just got to be a little bit um, smart about how you go about it. And I think that's the biggest concern I have when it comes to this is that they're using our information to train it. They're using our data to train it to make it more powerful, to make it more capable, but they're not really investing as much or taking as serious how to make it so that the intellect of the artificial intelligence is directly tied to its ethical capabilities, right? So when one is gone, the other does not exist. That's the only way to ensure safety. It has to be smart through ethics, so to speak, right? Its ethics should be part of its reasoning, right? Part of its architecture instead of something layered on afterwards, or a gate put on afterwards. And
So,
go
sorry,
ahead.
Mohammed. So what I want to say is, and then we need to close because it's already, half past the time that we agreed. So it's, but
Sounds good.
what I want to say there is this topic about alignment and how did you call it? Which word did you
Ethics,
use?
ethics,
Ethics. Yeah.
ethics.
So this could be an interesting topic for next week, and
Sounds good. Yeah.
look like talk about the AI ethics and so on. The and those risks also there's it's kind of interesting to understand and see the different point of view. Each one of us has different experience with AI, but we all saw that it can be really powerful and it's actually going really growing a lot and going towards that direction because more is capable as more also can be used for in
Yeah.
the wrong way. So there is a lot of to talk there. One thing that I'd like to do is to for you guys to submit topics for those talks, okay, for those meetings, because it would be nice to to guide a little bit the direction of our conversation. Uh, I have ideas. It's not like I don't have what to talk about, but it's more about let's talk about what is relevant to you, to your journey, to we as a community. So if whatever it is, so submit it and say, okay, let's. I'd like to talk about this, and would be and we can add it and then do it.
That sounds wonderful. That sounds good, like a good idea.
Yeah, so community-driven discussion is better, and we see this as a way of. I, I I used to call this. I used to do this with a friend. I call them opinion making sessions. So we would meet and discuss a topic where to which we had not a final opinion. Okay, it's the point is not to come with an opinion. It's the point is to come with not having an opinion and say, okay, let's discuss until we build one. Okay, so
Yeah.
that is the digging.
Yeah. That's
That's
really
a
cool.
good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. 100%.
Nice. So again, thanks a lot for this participation. And
I'm happy to be here, man. Like I said, things are going quick on my end. Like I have a meeting with Professor Basti next month, and hopefully I'll be there for the AI for Peace in Rome, September 23rd. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on what's going on my end. Like my intention is to, regardless, like remember where I'm from and my journey to get to where I'm at. and see what I can do and how I can help. Keep our community moving forward, because what we're doing here is really important. Honestly, even though I don't participate in a lot in the chat, I'm there in spirit, definitely, 100%.
Thank you. And let me know when you are in Rome. I'm not far from Rome. Okay,
I will.
maybe we have a way to meet.
Sounds good.
Anyway, so please submit those idea and yeah, again, so let's be more proactive on this journey together. Thanks a lot, and bye. You can.
Bye. See you
Bye,
guys.
good evening,
Thank you.
guys.
Yeah, but
Thank you, everyone. Nice
thanks.
talking to you.
Jimmy, you
talking
can
to you guys.
stop recording.
Yep.